You, but when I'm running late, it's like I become obsessed with the time. It's funny, as much as we humans don't agree on much of anything, time is the one thing that is like the universal contract that we've all signed up for and have agreed upon. So when we're running late, it's like our brains tend to get hijacked. They're just so anxious about the fact that we are not where we want to be when we want to be there. And I know you've all seen the person who's like shoving through the crowd and elbowing people or zigging in and out of traffic. And you just know that they're running late. So the whole irony with that is when you're in that hijacked, anxious mode, that's exactly when you're more likely to make yourself more late because you're going to, crash into something or trip and fall or ruin your favorite dress because you snag it on something as you're running from point A to point B. So I'm going to show you an easy way that you can not be that person. So this is a way to make you a little bit more calm and arrive at where you're going in a way that's just in a better headspace and better able to deal with whatever it is the situation is going to be when you arrive. So part of the problem with being late is that your mind, not only is it obsessed with the watch, but it tends to toggle between one of two places. First, we're either in the past should, where you start to think things like, I should have just skipped the coffee. And the problem with this state is that it's done. You can't change it. So there's no point in wasting your energy going over everything that you should have done differently. You are where you are. Then the other place you go in your head is the future when. And when it comes to the future when, you are like in an out-of-body experience trying to figure out everything that you could possibly do or say to make the situation better. When my brain becomes like brainstorming central for everything that I could possibly come up with to say when I get there or how I'm gonna handle it. The problem with the future when is that as much as we are confident that we know exactly what the future holds, so often all of the prep work that we were doing for what to do with the situation when we got there is irrelevant because the situation has changed. How often have you been running to meet somebody and then they also are late? Or the person that you knew was going to be angry that you weren't at the meeting on time, turns out they have the flu and they're not even there. So all this energy that we spend on coming up with ideas to how to deal with the future when is a waste of time. It's so much better to deal with the situation that actually exists when we get there. So my number one rule when I'm running late is to take my clock and then vow not to look at it again. Just mentally cover it up. Why? Because it doesn't matter. The time going forward, just tell yourself, is now. The time is now. Whenever it is that you're going to arrive will also be now. You can't change it. So there's no point in obsessing about it. Just resign yourself to the fact that it's whatever time it is. And whatever time you get there is also whatever time it's going to be. And the other thing I do, since now I can't look at the clock, is I take that as a cue to pay attention to something, anything in my immediate environment. So hopefully it's something that you kind of like. If you're in the car, it's a song. Pay attention to a song that has come onto the radio. Or if you're on public transit, take a look at the people around you. Just take something in and try and enjoy it. And it's amazing how just that acceptance of the fact that of where you are by appreciating something that is within your immediate vicinity automatically takes the stress down just a bit, because it's like you've just stopped resisting something that you can't change, and instead you're accepting the fact that you are where you are and that you're in the process of getting to where you need to be. And it's funny because this allows you to arrive in such a better state. So that whatever it is that is actually happening when you actually get there, you are much better able to deal with. If an apology is in order, you are less flustered. If something catastrophic has actually happened and you have missed your plane, you've already kind of taken all of that anxiety down and are just in a place where you're thinking more intelligently and more rationally about what is actually unfolding in front of you. Nobody likes to be late, but it's one of those things that just, it happens to all of us eventually. So when it does, just try not to look at the clock. Pay attention to something that's going on around you. And I think you'll find it's just kind of amazing how it brings that whole franticness down just a notch. And you can find that you get to wherever it is that you're going a little more peacefully.